Good morning. Thanks for joining me for our third day of online devotionals this week. As we continue out of the daily lectionary, we're going to read the gospel selection for the day, which is Matthew chapter 26, starting in verse 59. Now the chief priests and the whole council were looking for false testimony against Jesus so that they might put him to death. But they found none, though many false witnesses came forward. At last, two came forward and said, "This fellow said, 'I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days.'" The high priest stood up and said, "Have you no answer? What is it that they testify against you?" But Jesus was silent. Then the high priest said to him, "I put you under oath before the living God. Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God." Jesus said to him, "You have said so. But I tell you, from now on you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven." I've always been sort of confused by Jesus' responses and lack of responses during his trial. And I assume that they are due to his wisdom and the fact that God's ways are higher than my own. But I see in this particular passage the false witnesses coming and accusing Jesus of blasphemy, accusing him of claiming too much power, and his response is to act in humility, to be silent before the charges, or to simply point to the larger truth, that whether or not Jesus is the Messiah as the high priest thinks of the Messiah, Jesus is the Son of Man, seated at the right hand of power, coming on the clouds of heaven. And there's no arguing with that. There's no arguing with the source of Jesus' power. So whatever boxes we try to put God in, I think it's important to remember that God's ways are above our ways, that God's power is beyond our power, and God has chosen to use that mysterious and terrible power to show us love, because that's what Jesus is doing here at the end of the day. He's showing us love, going through the trial, going through his torture, and going through his execution out of love for you and for me. If Jesus is willing to go to those lengths for us, then how much does God truly love us? Let us just bask in the wonderful knowledge of that fact. Our prayer today is from Miriam Therese Winter. Let us pray. I love you, O God, my love, my warmth, my solace, my fulfillment. All that I am, all that I do, finds meaning and purpose in you. Fill me with the full force of your love and its passionate splendor, so that I might hold and heal all those who are crying out for love. Love through me all the unreconciled, whose homes and hearts are broken, and let them know I am able to love, because you have first loved me.